Now that is how you make Star Wars. That is it. Great pacing, great storytelling, great character development, and great lightsaber fights. I'm talking like you get the emotional weight that the original series has with their lightsaber fights and a bit of the flair of the prequel series when it comes to lightsaber fights. So it's the best of both worlds, literally. Spoilers ahead, you've been warned. Great character development for both Ahsoka and Sabine, both of them working through their personal issues and shared troubled history to eventually reunite as master and apprentice to then face against a Dark Jedi Master, Baylan Skoll, and his apprentice, Shin Hati. Baylan and Shin are badass throughout the entire 2 episodes. They do a great job emphasizing that they aren't Sith, but they're not Jedi, so they're kind of along that Dark Jedi path, basically. So, kind of like Ahsoka, Baylan has decided to forego the traditional Jedi teachings and kind of pursue his own path. Yo, and his profile in this hallway is menacing as fuck. Look at his goddamn shoulders, yo. Like, he is brolic. But I love Shin's eagerness to go jump into a fight. Like, she's pretty much ready to go at any time. Which is not all that different than Sabine, because she was real quick to grab that lightsaber and not her Mando gear to go fight, which was interesting. I would just like to add, too, that Sabine is the only person in Star Wars I've ever seen survive a wound like this. Granted, I'll give you Qui-Gon's was a little more spot on as far as, like, in the middle of his, like, abdomen, but even still, that one was pretty good, and any other time, she should have been a goner. And who needs Beskar armor when you got plot armor that thick? Clearly. Oh yeah, and Baylan and Shin have this third guy with them named Merrick. Now, they haven't exactly introduced who he is, but at this point, I think we all would be more surprised if it wasn't Ezra than if it was. I mean, it only makes sense. I mean, with that build and the timeline as far as where we are and everything, and just the story in general, I couldn't imagine who else it would be. And with Morgan being declared a Night Sister, it's very possible that she could be witching him in some way, shape, or form, so wait for that reveal. And I love the use of the HK droids. Shout out to Heavy Spoilers for pointing out that they are reminiscent and like a callback to Grievous's special guard, which have these kind of lightsaber deflecting batons or staffs. But also they're a reference to the Old Republic. Speaking of Old Republic, there's only one other person that is famous for going into the unknown regions of space, just like Thrawn and Ezra. Revan. Now, with Baylan mentioning that he's heard stories and fairy tales back at the Jedi Temple as a child about the unknown regions of space, and looking at this picture with the star map being used, yeah, I don't know how we're not going to get to Revan at some point, because clearly he's referring to Revan with these fairy tales. But I digress. Did anybody else notice that you can basically understand Chop if you just listen carefully, which is unique? I've never seen that in a droid either, unless they were actually speaking Galactic Basic. Maybe I just gotta go back and watch Rebels to kind of get the full scoop on how that works with him, because, yeah, I had never seen that before. With Sabine back as Ahsoka's apprentice, 2 rogue Jedi on the search for the heir to the Empire, and the possibilities of characters from the distant past, and maybe even some characters from the present. Today is a great day to be a Star Wars fan.